My name is Nancy Kennedy, and I'm 56 years old and have lived in the village of Glencoe for the past 26 years, coming here from Aberdeen after my first daughter, Claire, was born. We came to Glencoe because my husband and myself are passionate climbers and outdoors people, so when the job came up in Fort William, it was an easy move to make. I'm initially from a steel town in Kilbirnie, which was very working class, in North Ayrshire, and all my family and grandparents and great-grandparents worked in the steel industry before it was decimated in 1978 when Mrs. Thatcher decided to close it down. I then went to Glasgow University and studied Scottish literature, which had been a great passion of my family, and in particular my mother before me, and has been my guiding light and probably my template for life. Not the Bible, but Scottish poetry and literature. Prior to becoming a hill runner, I was a hockey player. So in my late 40s, when I stopped playing hockey, I did the Ben Nevis race for the first time and have continued to hill race all over Scotland, Wales, and have just returned from Switzerland from an international mountain race in the Valais region of Switzerland, which was 31k and 8,500 feet of climb. So the hills are an abiding passion. And even having been on expedition to the likes of Ladakh, the hills of home can't be bettered. And one of my favourite views is my back door with a cup of tea in hand and looking up at the Pat of Glencoe or Annachdu or the other surrounding hills. Although having said that, living in Lochaber, my favourite view and my abiding memory would be cresting the Fairlie Moors and seeing the hills of Arran laid out above the sparkly sea, which always is an abiding memory of a day at the shore and an ice cream in Nardini's. And in fact, the Goat Fell hill race is probably my favourite hill race in the whole of Scotland. My favourite book would be Sunset Song by Lewis Grassic Gibbon, which I believe is currently being filmed, although I'm not so sure with the fact that Agnes Dean, the model, has been cast as the iconic Chris Guthrie. My favourite poem would be Hugh MacDiarmid's Bonnie Brook at Bairn, and for endless pleasure, the books and poetry of George Mackay Brown's Orkney. One of the things I like about myself would be the fact that I have been true to the values of my hometown and the people who brought me up, who, despite having nothing in terms of wealth, gave me everything in terms of an extended family. And I would hope that I have passed that on to my two daughters, both of whom have been to university and have returned to live here in Glencoe, although thankfully, finally, not in the same house with their boyfriends, but now have homes in the village. I also have two dogs, a lovely boy, Patterdale, called Lachie, who comes from the wild Patterdales of Cool Bay, and a Lakeland Terrier called Misty. And having dogs sort of later in life has been a great joy and also extends hill days. Solo hill days become hill days with doggy companions. My husband, Stephen, who I've been married to for a long time, is a solicitor in Fort William and is also an excellent climber who has done many summer and winter new routes in Scotland, the Alps, and further afield in the likes of Sikkim, Ladakh, Pakistan and Peru. I'll be taking him to the airport and he's heading back to India with permits for 3 6,000 metre unclimbed peaks, and we'll be back a month later, hopefully with some new peaks in the bag.